Hey guys, Mr. Milton here. Today we're going to look at some more advanced word problems, continuing our lesson, our chapter on it. At the end of this video, you should be able to rewrite a variable in terms of another variable, and you should be able to set up and solve perimeter problems. Okay, this lesson is just a continuation of the last lesson where we worked on rewriting a variable using an algebraic expression containing another variable. Okay. Remember, the goal of this is to change an equation from having two or more variables to an equal equation containing only one variable in order to solve it. We cannot solve an equation, one single equation, with multiple variables in it. So what we're trying to do is find a common link in order to adjust how we write it so we can make it solvable. All right, so let's talk about perimeter. Okay, recall that the perimeter measures the distance around an object, or outside of an object. Okay, it is found by adding up all the sides. The equation for finding the perimeter of a rectangle is P equals L plus W plus L plus W. So again, adding up all the sides. Or you can say P equals 2L plus 2W. Or some people will like it as 2L plus W. Okay. Either way, that's a bunch of different ways to say add up all the sides. Okay, let's look at some problems involving perimeter. First, it says the length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 24 inches. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. It is a good idea to draw and label a picture. Okay, especially rectangle being a pretty simple picture, but no matter what the situation is, you want to make your picture pretty simple, as this is not an art class, and this will help you to keep your thoughts organized. So, I usually like to label these length, width. Okay. So it says the length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. So if I'm talking about length, let's say it's width plus 6. The perimeter of the rectangle is 24. So I'm going to write 24 in here even though I'm talking about perimeter. Find the dimensions of this rectangle. Alright. So the important part here that we have to remember, guys, is, the really key thing to this is defining your variables. If you truly define your variables, then you will be able to go through this and understand how to set it up pretty easily. Okay, the trick to this problem is they never talk about width, but they do. Okay, they only tell us that the length is 6 more than the width. And so we write this here, kind of label our sides. And in doing so, we are really writing an equation. We're saying that length is the width plus 6. Now we just need to know what the width is. Have we used width in this equation? And the answer is, yeah, we use W. Okay, because that's what this stands for in our first equation. That W is width. Try to not move my paper so much. And so we can write this as W. And so now we have all of our sides labeled. W plus 6. Okay, it's one side. Plus W plus 6 plus W. Those are all 4 of our sides. Length, length, width, width. And we know that equals 24. Now notice our equation has one variable, just W. A bunch of different times, but only one variable. So now we can solve this. We have 4W plus 12 equals 24. And now it's an equation for us to solve. 4W equals 12, divide by 4. W will then be 3. Okay. And so we find that our width is 3. And because we know our length is 6 more than our width, we can say 3 plus 6, which is 9. Oops, I did all that in this space, but I'll write it down through here anyway. The relationship between length and width is that the length is 6 inches more than the width. We can use this information to help us write our term in terms of other variables. So L equals W plus 6. Therefore, our equation becomes, I'll write it more succinctly up here, 2W plus 6 plus 2W equals 24. Okay, and so we solved it all the way through here. We found that our width was 3, our length then was 9. So our length was L equals W plus 6, and we found that W was 3. Oops, a little bit low. Give me a second there. All right. Flip it to the back side. Let's look at another problem. I'll do this top problem and then leave the bottom one for you to complete and bring in for me. Make sure. Yes. Okay. The width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than its length. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 56 centimeters, what is the width of this rectangle? Okay, notice that this problem is only asking for the width. So once we find the width, we can stop. All right, so again, it's a rectangle problem. I'm going to draw my diagram to help myself out. Drawing a diagram here. Okay, simple rectangle. Really doesn't matter what you call the length and the width, but I will label my sides this way. It says that the width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than its length. So again, remember guys, please do not write 2 minus L. Okay, 2 centimeters less than this length means that we're going to take the length and subtract 2. Okay, so now we know that the width is the length minus 2. Again, remember that we used L. L means length. That means we don't have to come up with anything new for this side. It's just L. Even though they didn't explicitly say anything about it, we have already included it in our equation. Okay, and then the perimeter of this rectangle is 56 centimeters. So now I can add all this stuff together and I can say 2L minus 2 plus 2L equals 56. Okay, and I'm going to go through and solve that equation then. So 2L minus 4 plus 2L equals 56. Combine my like terms here and get 4L minus 4 equals 56. Add 4 to both sides, I get 4L equals 60. And then divide by 4, and I should find that my length is 15. Now, notice that I found length, but the question asks me to find width. Okay, so now I'm going to find my width. My width, remember, W equals L minus 2, is going to be the length, 15, minus 2. So my width is 13, and that is the answer to my question, or to their question, actually. Okay, take some time, please, and do this problem. Draw your rectangle. Label your sides. Okay, and use the clues in the problem to set up your equation and solve it. Bring this to me. Done. Okay, and we'll go over it. See you guys.